off season to training camp to the games, the joint practice, and ultimately felt like to start the season on the road, DESHUAN gave us the best chance to move the ball and score points. I mean, that's really what it's about. And felt that way going in the last game, but wasn't sure. And after we talked as a staff and after we re-looked at everything, we're going to go that direction.
Is this a week-by-week thing? Or?
No, we're not anticipating this being a week-by-week thing. Again, I think SHEDEUR has done a great job, come a long ways, and we're excited about his future. But this is not a week-to-week decision.
Was it hard making that decision between Watson and Sanders?
For sure. I mean, any decision where it's so close, right? Both guys competing their rear ends off. I mean, it is a hard decision, right? I mean, it's not a hard decision to start Jared Verse at defensive end, right? That's easy, right? But it's what we're paid to do, try to put the best players on the field that give us the best chance to score points and move the ball.
Todd, is this a decision that feels like maybe you're flexible with changing if things don't go the way that maybe you anticipate early?
I don't anticipate that being the case, but that's what we do. That question is not a quarterback question. It is everybody's position, right? Every single week we have to prove it, right? That's what we do. As pros, we have to prove it every week. It doesn't matter what position. Ultimately, we expect him to play well, or we wouldn't be starting him.
It feels like is there something that DESHUAN did specifically to separate himself from SHEDEUR?
I wouldn't say anything specific. I would not say that. Again, just on the road, operation, right? Our ability to function, and again, it was close. I mean, like I said, I feel really good about both quarterbacks. I do.
So if it's that close, Todd, I think there's a line of thinking that says, why not go with the younger guy that might have a brighter future? So I guess what was keeping SHEDEUR from getting this job? Did it come down to that operation?
Some of it was that. There's a number of things I'm not going to get into, but ultimately we felt over the course of training camp and the off season that he was ahead of SHEDEUR. SHEDEUR has closed that gap, I mean, for sure, and that's a credit to him. And we look forward to, again, SHEDEUR continuing to grow as a player, but ultimately we're about week one. That's all it's about, is week one. Putting our best foot forward over the next 3 weeks. As I said the other day, we're only halfway through training camp. Still have this week, got next week, got the whole game prep for Jacksonville. We really haven't game planned anybody in the preseason, so our ability to game plan and get ready for Jacksonville, I'm looking forward to it.
When you talk about on the road, do you mean the challenges a road game presents, or
100%.
being away from the home fans?
No, I mean, what a challenge is of being on the road. I'm just worried about the first game. I mean, it's really about being on the road, operation, silent cadence, right, opening the season. Just felt like that was the right way to go, and that wasn't the only criteria. It was just a piece of it.
Todd, no one really seemed to run away with this quarterback competition. It just felt like it was uneven throughout. What, for those that don't understand the football decision to start DESHUAN, what are they missing that you see that those folks aren't seeing?
Well, again, it's the day-to-day. What they're not seeing is the film. They're not in our building. So they're not going to know what we know. Now, you can see with your own eyes, right? You can forecast what you expect it to be, right? A number of those people weren't even at practice. So I don't really concern myself with what they really think. I know what we think and what we see every day and on our building and our players and the momentum we have, and we're 100% behind DESHUAN.
How much did you take into account the fact that the fan base really is not in DESHUAN's corner and that they seem to love SHEDEUR? Did this come up in the discussions at all for you guys?
Absolutely not. Zero. There was nothing to do with that. I mean, ultimately, the fans want us to win. I mean, ultimately, put a good product on the field. That's really what they want, okay? And so that's our job as coaches, why we're hired, to try and put the best product on the field. And when we don't, then I understand the frustration. But ultimately, they don't decide who plays. I mean, who would I be if I let someone outside of the building decide who plays?
Todd, I know you said that press conference from Saturday from DESHUAN Deshaun wasn't going to factor into the decision. And I know you've talked about how important mental toughness is in quarterbacks. So looking at the entire body of work, what makes you confident that he has that part of it for you guys right now?
Well, I said it yesterday, like, he bleeds like we bleed. 22 months of working to get back, giving himself another opportunity for the Browns, okay? So that I respect. And sure, was he hurt? Yes. But I also said yesterday, okay, I don't like being booed either. I don't like when we jump off sides 3 times at the end of the game, okay? But we earned that, right? We earn our respect by how we play. We earn our fans, right, in terms of appreciation of the product we put on the field, and that's our job. So on one side, I 100% understand where Deshaun is coming from, but ultimately, we're pros. I mean, we got to put on a good product, and we got to play. You got to pull your big boy pants up and let's go play.
Todd,
glowingly about how SHEDEUR has gotten better as the offseason's kind of gone on. What was the conversation kind of like with him about the decision, and what was kind of your message to him as he
He was awesome. I mean, you talk about somebody that really understands the long game. That really, I think, has come to understand the long game, right? What are we really in this for? What am I in it for? To have the Browns be an organization that people aspire to be, right? The long game, right? Where do we want to be in the long term, right? Whatever that, and he understands that as well as a quarterback, right? Where he was at, where he's at now, where he wants to get to. That is what's so awesome about SHEDEUR understanding that. Really, he does. We met this morning for a good long time, and all he had was a smile on his face because he understands what really is in front of him, not really a short-term, maybe long-term decision. I mean, this is like a player, like he's going to work his butt off to get better, and he has already.
Can you say, did you inform the quarterback privately or as a team?
Oh, it was privately. I met with DESHUAN, and then I met with SHEDEUR.
Did you then address the team?
I did not.
Todd, just with SHEDEUR, obviously Deshaun's going to get the lion's share of the practice reps as you work for the season. How do you work to get SHEDEUR reps in practice so that he can continue his own development, in case,
Well, that's a great point. I mean, we do have we have this week, a couple of days. We have a few days next week where we're still Browns on Browns. Mm-hmm. And then we'll turn our focus the back end of next week and the following week on Jacksonville. So we still have reps where we're running our offense, right? So that's where he'll get the development. The hardest part is, you are exactly right. Once we get into game week, Deshaun takes all the ones. So he's going to have to do a great job in individual, film study, and then when he gets opportunities to go against the defense, again, people run a lot of the same concepts, right? People run 4 verts, they run curl flat, they run flood concepts. That's no different what we run. So how are you going to play that out in your mind? What is that on the card that is exactly what we do, and then process and play it out like it's a real practice rep?
Todd, after the game Saturday, Deshaun Watson was asked, in relation to the response he got from the fans, he was asked if he could defeat the negativity, and he said, I don't know. When you met with him, did you guys talk about that?
We did. We talked, I'll keep most of what we talked about private, okay? But the conversation was, like, the way we make this go away is to play good football. Like, we got to own that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think, I asked him, hey, do you feel like you got that off your chest? Because you got to feel like you got that off your chest, right? And now what do? Let's move forward and work our rear end off at playing winning football. And that's it. And you guys get a chance to talk to him. And again, it was at the moment. We all have those moments, okay? And we're going to see moving forward. I have gotten no indication over the 6 months that I've been here that he doesn't have the ability to bounce back as a player and compete as rear end. I have no indication of that.
Todd, when we talk about SHEDEUR Sanders and we talk about him coming up the learning curve and figuring out cadences and getting in and out of the huddle and those kinds of things, sometimes people misinterpret it, I think, as that we're saying or you're saying that he doesn't have the capacity to learn all that stuff. what do you say about how, maybe how far he's come or his ability to learn and pick all that up and how he's doing in that space?
Well, that's not true. It's just the understanding of how important it is to the collective group, the other 10. He is the epicenter of our communication. Then the center is. So the understanding of they're there listening to you, right? Being crisp, concise, on point, right? Once you get into the huddle, I've got this, I'm in charge. That's us as well as coaches, right? How do we get that out of players? Anything that we do, be it a quarterback, be it another player, it's our job as coaches to maximize our measurable skill set. That is a we thing, not a me thing, not an individual thing. So we're all in that together. He is certainly more than capable of that, and I saw today he was even better.
Now that you've settled on this quarterback decision, how much effort has to go into turning 4 quarterbacks into 3 for the roster?
Well, we're going to get a chance to see it Thursday night. I'm excited for Dylan and see Talon. We went through the first couple of games, the way we went about it. Talon did a great job over the course of time with limited reps and going against the Bills, really executing our offense at a high level. So I'm excited to get him out there and see him play.
Neither DESHUAN or SHEDEUR on Thursday night?
They will not play Thursday night, either one of them.
Did you have a change of heart in if you were going to play the starters? It felt like early in the preseason or training
I
camp,
did.
you thought you
And I talked to Coach Vrabel. We had talked about initially like wanting to play our starters and get them a series or two. They really hadn't played their guys, but we both felt like we were thin, especially up front on both sides of the ball, and we just felt like, we'd be better off not playing our starters in the game Thursday night.
You said it was your decision yesterday. You were making the decision, but I'm just curious, did you consult at all with Andrew Berry or anyone in the front office, or did you just this morning just inform them that was the decision?
Well, I think any major decision, right, is an organizational decision. Ultimately, I have to make that call, right? I guess if you said, hey, the decision on trades or free agents that we bring in or contracts, ultimately Andrew would have to make that decision, but those are organizational decisions, right? That's the way it runs, and that's we talked about it. We did. We had conversations about it, and we landed on this.
Is there enough time in the preseason for Malik Collins to be ready for game 1?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw it when he first showed up. I mean, he was doing box jumps. I was like, he's ready now, for God's sakes. I was kind of bummed he wasn't out there for 3 weeks. I mean, he looks great. I mean, holy cow. I mean, impressive for the injury that he had and his work in the offseason at his age as a vet. It says a lot about him, how much he loves football, how much he loves the Browns and his teammates. Awesome.
Todd, Quinshon, do you expect him back on the field today or tomorrow?
If not, it'll be shortly.